Good day, and today we're going to talk about composition. So composite function is a function that is taken inside another function. It is done by substituting one function into another function, that is f composed of g of x is equal to f of g of x. So what happened here? The second function is being used as the input of the second function. Okay, so we know that in f of x, the x here is the input. Okay, and the whole process here, the whole function f of x is the output. Okay, the f will process and the f will process the input and it will produce an output. Okay, now we have another function to play a role. Okay, so we have here g of x. So the input of g of x is again x, and the output is g of x. Now this output will be used as an input to another function or process. Okay, so if this is being used as another input, so let's say this one will replace the x here. So it will become f of g of x. So for this one, if we are going to interpret this one, g of x now is the input of the process function f. Okay, and the output is, of course, f of g of x, or simply f composed of g of x. Okay, so here's an illustration to better understand the composite function. So for example, we have an input, and the input is a. This input will undergo a process called g. So the input will be inside the function g. So the output will be g of a, and this g of a will become the input of the function f. So it will produce the f of g of a. So as you can see here, this one, a going to the g of a, because a is the input, g of a is the output. And then g of a going to the f of g of a, because g of a is the input and f of g of a is equal to the output. And if we get straight from a to the f of g of a, we'll just use the composition. This is f composed of g of a, or simply f composed of g. Alright? Next. So how do we make sense of it? Well, simply by solving some problems. Okay? So we have f of x is equal to x squared minus 1, and g of x is equal to x squared plus 1. Now, we'll try to solve some problems here. So f composed of g of x. So f composed of g of x is equal to f of g of x. Okay? And then this is equal to f of x squared plus 1. Correct? And this f of x squared plus 1, we just substituted this one to g of x. Then we know that in this one, now the input is x squared plus 1. We will use this as the input for this expression. Okay? So this will become x squared plus 1 squared, primarily because this one here, we turn this into this one. So instead of x, we used x squared plus 1. Okay? So this is x squared plus 1 squared minus 1. Okay? We simplify it. Okay? We expand whatever factor that we have. Okay, so this is equal to x raised to 4, then plus 2x squared plus 1. So we just expanded this one here. The x squared plus 1 squared, and it became x raised to 4 plus 2x squared plus 1. Then we have another, which is minus 1. Okay, so we simplify, we get f composed of g of x is equal to x raised to 4 plus 2x squared. Okay, so we now have the composition. All right. Okay, let's see if this is correct. So f composed of g of x. So the answer for this one is x raised to 4 plus 2x squared. Okay. Next, for the f composed of g of 1. So we just need to evaluate. So now that we have the f composed of g of x, we now get the f composed of g of 1. So whatever this value is, the value of x, you just need to substitute it. Okay? So for this one, for the second question, x is equal to 1. We need to find the value of f composed of g of x such that x is equal to 1. So this means that x is equal to 1. So 1 raised to 4 plus 2 times 1 squared, which is equal to 1 plus 2, which is equal to 3. Okay, the final answer for this is 3. Let's check. So that's it. 1 raised to 4 plus 2 raised to 1 squared, which is equal to 3. Okay, understood? Okay, let's try another one. G composed of f. Okay, G composed of f, again, let's try to write it. Copy it. Okay, so that's G composed of f of x will be equal to G of f of x. And the one inside will be replaced. Okay, so f of x will be x squared minus 1. And x squared minus 1 will be used as an input for this one. Okay, so we know that the input here is x. Okay, but now we have here g of x squared minus 1. So the input now will be x squared minus 1. We'll just replace x basically with x squared minus 1. Okay, so this will become this will become x squared minus 1 squared plus 1. Okay, so what happened here? So this x squared became x squared minus 1 squared because our input now is x squared minus 1. And then we have here the last one, the last term, which is plus 1. We just copied it. Okay, now let's simplify this one. So this is equal to x raised to 4 minus 2x squared plus 1. Then another plus 1 for this one. Okay, so x raised to 4 minus 2x squared plus 1 plus 1. And if we further simplify this, we have x raised to 4 minus 2x squared plus 2. So the answer for the g composed of f of x is x raised to 4 minus 2x squared plus 2. Okay, let's check if this is correct. So that's it. Okay, so g of composed of f of x is equal to x raised to 4 minus 2x squared plus 2. Okay, now we are asked to evaluate the g composed of f at x is equal to -1. Okay, so for this one, what we're going to do is, again, the input, which is the x, will become -1. So we substitute, okay? We substitute -1 to all x's here. So it will become negative 1 raised to 4 minus 2 times negative 1 squared plus 2. Okay? So if we further simplify this one, this is 1 minus 2 plus 2 equals 1. Okay, let's check if this is 1. Okay, so this is 1. Okay, the answer for g of composed of f of x such that x is equal to negative 1 is 1. Understood? Okay, so that's it for the composition of functions. See you in class.